We are back, yes, with some more Train Simulator Classic. And in this video we have another request. Now, this video's request this time has come from loco. So he's given me a scenario here where southeastern trains have a shortage of working rolling stock, obviously due to lack of maintenance and preventative maintenance. So they are having to lease a Class 67 on the short term, and they need one to do the run from London Victoria to Dover Priory. So in this request which I've got here, it's going to be a Class 67 with 7 Mk2 carriages, which I have set up here. Those carriages consist of a first class at either end and a guard wagon as well, and all the rest are standard second class. He's given me a list of stations to stop at. I will try and remember them all as we're driving. So we've got Bromley South, Longfield, Meerpen, Rochester, Chatham, Gillingham, Rainham, Newington, Sittingbourne, Tainham, Faversham, Selling, Canterbury East, Beaksbourne or Beckesbourne, Addisham, Aylsham, Snowdon, Shepherdswell, Cairnsey and Dover Priory. So we've got a few stops to do. I don't think it's every stop, so it's not a stopping service. He's also specified that the conditions are spring, cloudy, and the run will start at 10:30. So I think we've got everything set up here. Now, as usual, I haven't done a practice run for one reason or another. So this is the first time, I think, driving this loco and the first time doing this route. So yeah, it should make things a little bit interesting. Okay, so as I fumble through all the controls, work out how the hell to drive the thing, but we will see. So yeah, let's get this underway. Right, so here we are at London Victoria. Here is our Class 66 and our Mk2 carriages. So there's the first class. Second class, so standard class, and again that's the guard van, and then at the back we have another first class. Okay, so let's just set this up. Let's see if it's how obvious it is. Okay, so there's some controls here. Let's put the cabin light on. I think that's it there, and headlight. Come on, move, you fucker. I want to go the other way. Is that it? Let's just check out the front. Okay, yeah, that looks like it's okay. We have a headlight. It's probably not on day running, but as long as we've got something there that isn't a tail light, I'm happy with that. Okay, I don't know if there's a speed set on here. I mean, I don't tend to use the speed set anyway. Or, I don't know what I'm doing with this. This isn't an Armstrong powerhouse, so a lot of this probably it's non-functional. Right, okay, so we've got brakes. Let's just set the reverser. Acknowledge the AWS test. Okay, well, I think we can get going. Right, so let's just come off the brakes and set the throttle. So we're in a 20-mile-an-hour zone here. There we go. We got a little bit of stuff there to piss off Greta Thunberg. There we go. as we head out of Victoria. So our first stop is Bromley South, I believe. So we are in a 20 just for the next minute or so, and then we will be at 40 and then 45. Okay, it's a totally flat gradient here. So we should see, it's got a lot of AI trains here. There's a class 377 Southern, which consists of most of the trains that you will see at Victoria. There's mostly them, a few Southeastern and Gatwick Express, plus obviously a random class 67. Going uphill on one in 66, so we'll give it a little bit of throttle. We're still losing speed. So we go past Battersea. So we can go full speed now into the 40. There's a Southeastern there in the siding. Crossing over the Thames. It looks a bit bleak, the London skyline there, doesn't it? Yeah, doesn't quite look like that. Yeah, it's something not quite right in this part of the route. The London skyline looked very bleak there, and barren. So the whole journey is about 76 miles, or 77. And on a downhill there. Oop, so we have to add a little bit of brakes. Well, and I'm speeding and I was braking. It just took the brakes a while. Okay. Ugh, that didn't take long, did it, to speed? So remember on this, the brakes take a while to activate or deactivate. Right, there's a 20 coming up. So make sure I brake on time. We have a flashing yellow aspect here. So we're obviously going to change on some points. Probably where that 20 is. Oh no. Possibly be before then, because there's another 2 signals at least. So I'm not going to accelerate up to 45. It's absolutely pointless at the moment. So we went through a double flashing yellow. Now here's the single one. So class 377, is it? Looks like it. Okay, so we have a single yellow. So are we going to be on points? Come on, brakes. We're picking up speed again. Right, okay, so that was what the yellow signal was all about, those points there. So we will shortly be round this sharp curve and back at 45 mile an hour. Gain a little bit of speed. We are still stuck at 20. Well, we really are losing speed, aren't we? There's 1 in 110. Fine. Now we're starting to gain it. Just let's get the whole train into the 45 zone. And we're there. So we can crank her up. So Denmark Hill, we are not stopping there. Again, we need to apply brakes. One in 91. Right, so this is Denmark Hill. Let's just increase these brakes because we've got to slow down to 40 just before we approach Peckham Rye. Okay, at least gravity is not causing us to speed up. As we go through Peckham Rye and past Nelson Mandela House up in the distance there, we can go to 60. Obviously the the only fools and horses jokes there, the actual Nelson Mandela House was in South Acton. It wasn't even in Peckham. They didn't film any of it in Peckham. It was mainly Shepherd's Bush, Acton, around that area, and then in later years it was in Bristol. And the tower they used was not Harlech Tower, I forget the name, but it's the one next to it. There was like 2 or 3 of them there. Okay, we briefly have a 60 miles an hour speed limit here, but is it worth it? Go up a little bit. And we have a 40 for a small stretch there. Okay, so here is Nunhead. Look at that. What the hell is that? So yeah, not very well done, the scenery on this. The distant scenery. That's just really lazy, that is. Right, so yeah, going over these points is why we're at the 40 limit. Right, 50 miles an hour, how nice for us. So Crofton Park, then Catford. And we have to brake again. Oh, my bad. So that's 2 speedings already. Now let me check our stops. I've got a feeling I've chosen the wrong version of this route, so we're not going to get to Bromley South. We should have been there by now. Could be wrong. Actually, yeah, Bromley's sort of near Croydon, isn't it? Right, so we go down to 40. I narrowly avoided a third speeding there. Right, so this is Catford. Where the scenery just stops there and you just get an empty hill. But yeah, quite a built up area, Catford. Right, now on a 60. Oh, it seems so fast. Bear with how fast we've been going. But then central London's never been that fast going in and out and around it. So Bellingham and then Beckenham. So we are going hopefully full throttle through Bellingham. Not full speed, obviously. Is that a 378 or 377? And Beckenham Hill. Right, as we go through Ravensbourne, we have got a very quick speed drop to 50. Okay, we'll let the inertia and friction slow us down a little bit. I might need to add a bit of brakes. It's only literally for a few metres and then we're back in a 60 again. There we go, Ravensbourne. Okay, so we are now doing under 50. It's just as we go over those points. Okay, we're back in a 60, but our first stop on the route is coming up with Bromley South there. So here is Shortlands. Nicely done round there. Right, let's. Oh, I'm speeding. But it doesn't matter, because that's what I seem to do best, is ignoring the speed limits. I braked way too early here. Yes, it's quite a different animal to drive than the usual passenger multiple units that I'm used to. Okay, we are just now pulling into Bromley. Try and get the entire length of the train onto the platform. It seems pretty long. I think we'll be fine. Six to 8 car, well, yeah, that is about us. So, but we've only just got the train on the platform now. So this is where we will stop. There's people getting off, and welcome to Bromley South. Right, let's just check all the doors are now shut. No, they're not. And now they are. Right, our next stop will be Longfield. So let's get underway. It takes a while for these brakes to discharge, doesn't it? we'll be right going full throttle here because the weather conditions are okay, so we won't get any wheel slip. So Bickley, we are not stopping it. So yeah, this seems quite modern inside this loco. I haven't, as usual, done my research as when they were put into service, so I couldn't tell you if it's a refurbed one or if this is how they were when they were first introduced. So I couldn't tell you that. No doubt those watching will probably have a much better idea than me about it, the history of this loco. Full throttle through Bickley. A little Thomas the Tank Engine style toot there. And oh, look at that, 90 miles an hour coming up. How long that will last? Probably more than a couple of metres. Right, it's the Petswood Junction. It's the station we are avoiding. Oh, and I'm speeding again. I was too busy looking at that train. Christ, this is not... Oh, I'm just glad I haven't got a train driver examiner sat next to me, because this is a miserable failure of a flawless run already. And I've only stopped at one station so far. However, we have some grace coming up as we are in a 90-minute. I'm not quite sure of the full speed of this loco, the top speed. St Mary's Cray is again a station we will not be stopping at. Let's get up some proper speed now. We're in a 90, or it's quite a downhill, so we better be a little bit careful. So on this speedo here, you can see green and red. So what does it mean when you're in the red? That mean we're hitting the sort of top speed that this engine is designed for. I mean, it seems to be accelerating all right. There's St Mary's Cray. There's 4 platforms in there and a footbridge. So we're in the red zone of the speedo. Are we sort of maxing the train out? I mean, the acceleration has dropped a little bit, but it's still accelerating. Yeah, we seem to be maxing out here. A Swanley's not a stop. It's Longfield. Oh, we have a 30 coming up here, a mile and a half. Very briefly. Let's start applying some brakes. I'm still trying to gauge these brakes. Right, so there is a Swanley as we go through here. Yeah, it's just a standard looking station. Nothing immediately eye-catching there. Right, so, right, this is why we're in the 30 here. This junction. But immediately we're 75 and then almost instantaneously we are at 90. But the 75 didn't even exist. Well, it did very briefly. I couldn't see it signposted on the track though. Right. Back up to 90. Not really much of a trackside view as usual. It's very hit and miss, isn't it? So I'll have to be a little bit careful here because of the 1 in 100 downhill. So we don't want to exceed 90. Lots of places to whistle, I see. We must have now crossed into Kent. Said Thomas to Henry. There is actually a Thomas the Tank Engine DLC for fucking Train Sim World. I suppose it's one way to get kids into train simming. Okay, we are still picking up speed a little bit, but not for long, as we go through Farningham Road. Now we're on an uphill, so we can give it 100% throttle. Right, Longfield, that is a stop. So it's a mile and a half, so I think we're alright to keep up the current speed on a 1 in 100 uphill. So I would say you can tell we're out of London because of all the sort of greenery around us. But then again, London was a few skyscrapers on top of a green plain hills. Oh, that really was lazy, wasn't it? Just crank the brakes up here a little bit. Right, let's just make sure we get the entire train on the platform. Okay, so 3 coaches left to get on. Ideally, it wants us to stop at the end here for 8 coaches. I will stop just before. That'll do. The entire train is on the platform. So here we are at Longfield. Everybody is getting off. Nice place it looks. Right. Okay, it looks like everybody is well and truly on the train. So let's get going. Now our next station is Meerfam, I think. It begins with M anyway. Meerfam, yeah. Meerfam, then Rochester are our next stops. So not being overly familiar with the route, I don't really know where they are or in relation to each other, but I'm so short-sighted. All I know is that we're in a 90, and when I see them on the HUD I will stop at them. And I will try to mostly obey the speed limit, but I can't guarantee that. So acceleration is slightly slow due to the gradient. Oh, I was hoping for trackside view. Now we've got all that room there, but of course we don't get one. No chance. But I see a Mir from there, and that is one of our designated stops, so we will stop there. Looks like we're going to be going downhill. the approach. So braking will be a little bit harder. And then if we look after that, we're in a slower speed limit. We're at 1775. So let's try and enjoy this 90 while we can. Okay, I don't want to brake too early. So Soul Street is next. Sounds like a fucking shoe shop, doesn't it? Give it quite a lot of brakes on here. Must be. It's not. Yeah, it's not even downhill. On a pretty flat gradient here. Another. I think it's a 377. Is it? Yeah, 375. Yeah, they do look very similar. Okay, 8-car stop is here. Everything is on the platform at Mk2. So everybody is getting off. Literally everybody, every single bloody door is open. Here is Mk2. At least we've got some scenery in the distance. Victoria was terrible, wasn't it? Still can't get over that. Right, let's head off. Oh, come on. Yeah, it does take quite a bit to get this thing moving. At least we don't have any rollback. Right, so we are going into a 75 zone very shortly as we go through the shoe shop station. And I think our next stop is Rochester. Looks like quite a downhill there. We're going to be a bit careful with our speed, just like I've been so careful so far. Right, Soul Street. There's a few houses there and not much else. It's a bog standard little 2-platform halt there. we come off the acceleration. Still going to pick up speed. To save a little bit of wear and tear on the lump. So 375 or 377. Oh yeah, we are going downhill for a long way. I think I'll have to do a little bit of controlled braking in a minute. So I don't end up with yet another speeding ticket. Let's see how much we're going to need. Well, it's at 19% and we're still gaining some speed there. And now we're losing some. These brakes are so slow to respond though, it's like very hard to get the amount right. But look, we're pretty much got our speed static, but we're having to go along with 29% brakes, which isn't great, is it? But there we go, it is what it is. Now the gradient's reduced a bit. That stupid whistle this train is. Right, 30 miles an hour coming up. Not for a while though. Well, we're finally losing speed without having to have any brakes on. So yeah. We're still well above sort of ground level, aren't we? Now, is that a river over to our right there? I can't really tell. I think so. Yep, I know it's there. Ooh, come on. Looks like we're going to have to keep the brakes applied because of the, again, the gradient. See, if I come off. Oh no, we're all right now. It was just slightly earlier. I've seen a lot of these trains here. 375. Yeah, this is why the slow speed limit. It's very curvy, but nice view. Right, Rochester, that is our stop. We won't have to do any braking until actually, he says, having to apply some brakes because of the gradient. They have to drive on 15% brakes, so I don't speed. So there's Castle. That's nice, isn't it? Class 375 was in the way a bit, but never mind. I thought we were going to hit that 375 for a second there. Okay, so let's just make sure we get all the coaches on the platform as usual. Just 1.5 more. And this thing wants us to stop here 4, 6 and 8. A bit late. But it really matters, does it? Okay, welcome to Rochester, everybody. Now, vaguely recall Rochester being quite a snobby area. It doesn't look all, lots of big built-up sections. But either way, we're going to be buggering off now. Let's try it this way. Look, come off the brakes. The engine going a little bit to stop us rolling back. Watch the clag and off it goes. As we pull out of Rochester, I'm pretty sure we've got Chatham coming up fairly quickly. Keep an eye on the speed, even though we're technically not in the cabin. In the cab, even. Look, there we go. Chatham's almost immediately upon us here. Another 375. Yeah, this is all very slow round here because of the twisties. The Chatham is pretty much straight as we exit the tunnel. The platform looks quite as long. So I can see where we are supposed to stop. 4, 6 and 8. That'll do nicely. Here we are at Chatham. Looks like Rochester, but a little bit shitter. But I could be completely wrong here. I don't know a huge amount about this part of Kent. Right, while everyone is getting off, let's see what our next station stop is. Gillingham, then Raynham, then Newington. So thankfully we've got a slight speed limit increase coming up. Let's keep an eye on this. Well, I don't know how far away Gillingham is, but I know that Dover is only 42 miles away. Right, so once we get out of this tunnel, these bridges, we are in a 50 zone, then 60. It looks like we've got another quite long tunnel coming up. Nice bit of graffiti on that one. Yeah, so see that hill, we're not going to go up it and down it, we're just going to go straight through it. Well, there's Gillingham. Really not all that far. This is a long old tunnel, isn't it? Still not as long as the old 7 tunnel with that weird flashing blue light in it. Oh, I should really be braking. I think I'm going to overshoot. I've put the emergency brake on there. Too busy concentrating on the tunnel. I really have overshot this, haven't I? I'm gonna get a couple on the. I'm not having a good run, am I? Really not. Look, barely get 1.5 carriages on there. Fucking idiot. Look at that. I really want shooting for that. There's no excuse at all. Look, only the rear carriage can get off. What a fucking muppet. No excuse for that at all. Let's make sure they are all off. Anyway, here we are at Gillingham, or a bit of it. Lots of houses. It does sort of take its time being able to pull away, doesn't it? I mean, it's alright once it gets going. Right, nice. 90 coming up. Over the old railway gates. There's lots of railway gates, obviously down on the south coast between Portsmouth and Brighton. Mainly on the... as you get into West Sussex, there's just no bridge on them at all. Sometimes you can be waiting ages there, even as a pedestrian or a cyclist. Right, let's get up to top speed. Looks like we're running 500. It's downhill. Really slight downhill. Well, Raynham, I remember that being one of our stops, so we'll try and stop on the actual fucking platform this time. Right, and then we are into an 80 miles an hour zone. Right, okay, let's get braking. Okay, Newington loop down, so I think Newington's another one of our stops. What's that we've got coming up there? 465, was it? Oh, I'm trying to read it because I'm hopeless at identifying a lot of trains on site. So I did try and read the serial number on it. Well, at least doesn't look like we're going to overshoot. Let's just make sure we stop at roughly the right place with all the coaches on the platform. I think all coaches stop here. That's better. Yeah, it's sort of a bit more useful for the passengers if you actually stop on the station platform instead of, you know, sort of halfway down the track. Yeah, they prefer it, much prefer a platform when we stop. Right, here we are, Raynham. Okay, everybody is on and off. Right, we're at an 80, so I have a feeling we haven't got too far to go to get to Newington. So, I've never heard of Newington. Always wondered what that road in Essex was named after, and now I know. Is that the 465? Is it? I keep failing to read the numbers. Right, so Newington, yeah, and then Sittingbourne is after that. So I imagine that Newington is coming up fairly shortly. I keep forgetting, I've got an Xbox controller plugged in and I keep forgetting this game supports it. Every time we go over a bump or something, it vibrates on the desk. I keep not knowing what it is. I keep thinking it's my phone. Right. Something else with Newington on it. But no sign of the station at the moment, but we do have a speed limit drop to 70. So I will just drop the throttle slightly. We're still accelerating, and then I'll just brake a little bit as we get nearer. Okay, don't have too far to go. Let's probably get back to 80. I don't know what station this is. It's not Newington itself, is it? It is. Well, I'm sorry, but we couldn't stop there. We're put on the avoiding line. So now we've missed Newington. Our next stop will be Sittingbourne, if we can. so we can make up a little bit of speed, not too quickly though. On a downhill again. Right, there's Sitting Bull. Well, we can stop here. Okay. And yeah, just our luck that we are in an 80 and we didn't get to get up that fast. Yeah, see, there's my controller vibrating away as we clack over those joins in the track. And clatter over them like that. Okay, this platform looks like we're going to have no trouble getting the entire train on it. To stop. It says 12. 6 and 8 is there. We're going to go slightly over that, but not by a great deal. It's not going to matter. Not going to get written up for that. Right, Sitting Bull, here we are. Right. It's alright, so it looks a lot flatter down here now than what we've been used to. Well, up there looks like we've got a bit of a hill going on. Right, that looks like everybody is off. So let's get going. Nice big puff of smoke there. Right, that's our next station. Still got quite a few to go. So Tainham and then Faversham. Right, off we go at full pelt, full throttle. Oh God, oh. Nearly ended up on the sex offenders register there for that. Okay, so it looks like we haven't got anything coming up for the next couple of miles. So we're now only 31 miles from Dover, roughly. And according to this, we still have quite a few stations. So I imagine we'll be stopping pretty much every stop coming up. Although I could easily be wrong there, not being too overly familiar with the route. Right, and there's a drop in speed coming up to Tainham. Yeah, I think that is one of our stops. So that speed limit is irrelevant. Okay, so we'll have to drop the acceleration anyway in a second. Yep, thank you for that, AWS. Okay, we're sort of gradually getting into more sort of suburban and country, which is always nice for the view. Okay, this station's pretty unremarkable, isn't it? Just two platforms and a very sort of thin footbridge. Here we go. Here's Tainham. But yeah, that footbridge pays for itself because it's over a level crossing. So we won't get any pissed off pedestrians. Okay, well, I didn't take people long to get on and off, and looking around the area, I'm not overly surprised. Okay, so we will come off the brakes. Yeah, if it was wet or icy, I would not be immediately going up to 100%. But as it's dry and it's spring and the acceleration on this thing isn't that great, I don't think we're doing any harm there. Right, in half a mile we have an increase to 85. I've got a feeling we won't be waiting too long to get to the next station. Well, I'm still wondering about the top speed of this thing. 125, eh? Bloody hell. So what is this red all about? Maybe it's to do with freight. But this thing can do 125, can it? Well, I mean, it struggled a little bit to get to 90. But then if it can do it, it can do it. Obviously the Deltic would easily accelerate it. But we all love the Deltic. Well, I don't mind this, it's just a bit slow to respond on brakes and things. I don't know if there's a configuration change for braking mode. Oh, and there it is, passenger or goods. So it looks like we're already in passenger anyway. There we go. Oh no, hello. Passenger. So I've done most of the journey with it in goods mode. What a plum. Let's see if this makes any difference. Well, we've got to drop to 75 coming up. I can't believe it. Why didn't I think of that? I've watched enough videos of people driving this. Faversham, we are definitely stopping there. Already having to put some brakes on to prevent ourselves from speeding. So now, yes, funny that the speedo's changed now. The red is gone. Okay, well, you learn something every day, don't you? Believe that. And I know very well the person that requested this video will be probably have shouted at his fucking computer screen or TV screen. "Are you fucking goods mode, you prick?" And yeah, and rightly so. Anyhow, Faversham, here we come. Here it comes. Yeah, you can hear that vibrating away on my desk. We'll try and stop at the correct place. It's 4 to 6 is there. So we must be pretty much at the end of the platform. That really doesn't matter because yeah, 7 to 12 here. We've got all the coaches on. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Faversham. It's quite a major station, isn't it? Right, I'll let these people get on. I just replied to some texts I've seen flying in. Right, that's that sorted. Let's get on and, oh, I've forgotten the next stop. Selling, and then Canterbury East. Alright, so let's see what a difference this makes, how quickly the brakes discharge. Oh, much quicker. Look at that needle there. Let's see if it makes any difference to how we pull away. Not majorly noticeable. I think it's more to do with the brakes. Okay, well, we're in a 90, but that's largely irrelevant. Because long before we get to 90, we've got a 65 minute there, so we will just aim for that. Right, so off to selling. No idea why, because I ain't buying. Okay, so we're heading nearer to 65. Okay, we've got a few bridges here, by the looks of it. And then we're back at good old 90. But we are on an uphill gradient, so I think getting to 90 will take a little while. But anyway, yeah. Now I'd sort of configured the loco correctly, the braking is a lot more responsive. And I actually quite like it, believe it or not. As you know, I mainly drive EMUs. But yeah, I actually don't mind this at all. It's quite straightforward to drive, especially when you've got the right mode set. Right, there's selling. We'll stop there. Yeah, and if I was driving with goods, I would know what to expect with how it performs. I've not really done much freight at all. So I've just opened myself up now, haven't I? Because you can almost guarantee the next request, or maybe the one after, will be a freight run. So yeah, this platform is going to be up a hill. Which should be interesting. So we will have to make sure we accelerate before the brake discharges so we don't get any rollback. I don't think this is the longest platform in the world. So let's get as much of the train on as possible. Might struggle to do that. We might have to deliberately overshoot this time. Yeah, we will have to deliberately overshoot. But at least everyone can get off. So, not really by much. Okay, so the front of the train's good. And so is the rear. Yeah, I think we did alright there. Judge that fairly well. So let's just there we go, everybody is on. Okay, I can watch it there. It's discharging, and we did roll back as well. Fucking hell. Really, I've got to give it some on this. I mean, we didn't kill anything or anyone, but yeah, we should have done that. I thought 25% throttle would be enough. Clearly not. Okay, we've got an AWS alert. Right, it's because there's a 55 coming up. Okay, so yeah, there I am on the platform of selling. And a 40. So what's going on up here? Right, so we'll just aim for 55. Probably 50 would be enough actually. But not too much further, and we're back in 90. Just as we go through this tunnel, and then we're pretty much straight back into 90 miles an hour. As usual, I don't think we'll be able to get up to 90 before we have to stop for a station. Okay, and then, yeah, we've got to reduce it by 5 miles an hour, and I always question that. Who made the decision that you needed to reduce by 5 miles an hour to avoid an accident or whatever? Don't get it. Right, so we'll just aim for 85, but I doubt we'll get there before we get to the speed limit. And then we're down to 75. Yeah, and we're going back downhill again. So we'll just aim now for 75, forget about 85. But it's not for long. Then we are back up to 90. Not at 90 for particularly long, are we? No, not at all. Right, okay, here we are back at the 90 for what it's worth. Hooter came out a bit funny then, didn't it? Oh, we'll do it a little bit. We've still got half a mile to lose a few miles an hour. And then we're down to 40. Right, we are downhill, so we'll just have to keep an eye on that. I wonder if there's any points there. It doesn't matter. Like there's Canterbury East. We are stopping there. Right, so down to 40. I reckon half a mile will be long enough before far enough away before we need to start braking. There we go, we've slowed down to 40. So, yeah. Okay, so we've been a little bit better on the speeding since we got out of London. Just everything else that I've been fucking up, like overshooting stations and driving with the wrong configuration. Rolling back, there hasn't been a good flawless run at all, and that's an understatement. Okay, well, so we are now almost in the 60, but what's the point? Because we are going to be stopping here at Canterbury East. And at least we are in a 60 when we leave the station, so not too bad. Right, let's make sure we can get everything on. I think we're going to have to go right up to the end. We've still got one more car to get on. There we go, I think we're on. Let's have a little look. So, we didn't overshoot the platform there, so everybody's alright there. And, oh look, we're alright at the back as well, that's good. So Canterbury. There we go. I've been to Canterbury. My friend was at uni here. I visited for a couple of days. Right, okay, that's all the people who wanted to get off are off on their pilgrimage, so let's get going. Oh, we don't want any roll back at all. We're not on a hill, so let's just double check the next station. Okay, so the next station is Beaksbourne or Beckersbourne, I don't know how you pronounce that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stations to stop at before we get to Dover. And we have a 90 limit coming up, so yeah, we've got quite a few stations and only 15.5 miles. I would definitely predict that we are stopping at every station on the way to Dover from here. Okay, so the old hydraulics discharge in there. So maintaining the pressure. Hydraulics, no, pneumatics. Right, let's just make sure we don't speed as we cross into the 90 zone. And there we have it. There's our next station, Beaksbourne. I think, yeah, it's got to be Beaksbourne, isn't it? Right, let's start slowing down now. Right, okay, just don't want to over brake. Right, yeah, this is a bit of a blink and you miss it kind of station. I think we could overshoot here if we're not careful. Make sure we get all the carriages on. There we are, going to have to overshoot slightly. I think they're all on. Right, let's just check, see how we did there. Yep, the loco needed to overshoot, but the important thing is we got the rear carriages all on safely, so it doesn't matter, because I ain't getting off. Okay, that looks like everybody who's off is off. So it's not really much going on at this station, is there? I managed to not do any roll back there. Or do you want to? Looks like I want to slide downhill. And off she goes, leaving us here on the station in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so we've still got another 4 or 5 stops at least in the next 12 miles. So it's probably at least one every 2 miles on average. Look, it's quite a long gap here of at least 2 miles. So I reckon they could be a bit clustered together. Oh look, it's nice. We can accelerate. See if we can get somewhere that vaguely resembles 90 before we have to slow down, and there we go. Too good to last, wasn't it? A train driver who doesn't like stopping at any stations. Addison, yeah, I mean, 100% sure that we have to stop there. Yeah, we do. And then Aylsham is after. Oh yeah, look, it's right on top of us, the next station. Yeah, this is yet again another station with not much going on that seems to be plonked in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, a few houses there. Not a particularly long platform either. We haven't got any brakes, so why is it squealing like that? Right, we've got 1.5 carriages to get on. Let's see if we can do this. Let's just give it a little bit of throttle. Nearly got it all on. And it's on. Right on the S. Okay, so yeah, we didn't need to do any overshooting there. Let's just check at the... well yeah, the usual bug, where despite the back being well and truly on the platform, the doors aren't opening. So the game thinks the rear carriage is not on the platform all the way, as we can perfectly see well that it is, and on the HUD. So yeah, I'm happy that we didn't make a mistake there. With a slight bit of rollback, yeah. I was at 50% throttle as well. Still not enough. Yet another fuck up. Right, okay, so I think we've got less than a mile, is it? Until the next stop. Yep, just under a mile. So, really don't think it's worth accelerating to much past 50. Looks like, again, another shortish platform. Okay, so we don't need to brake all that hard at the moment. Okay, this time we will overshoot the train slightly if we need to, so we can get those rear doors opening. Again, not majorly huge station with much going on. Right, how many coaches left? 3. I think we are going to need to overshoot. 1.5. And there's the last one. Okay, well, there's no reason why that door won't open. So the loco is overshot slightly, but that's deliberate. Those doors are fine. Let's check the back. Right, yeah, they're open now this time. Although we didn't need to overshoot the loco itself, but better to be safe than sorry with the way the train, the game itself thinks we're on the platform. Right, let's get ourselves underway to the next stop. Let's see if we can minimise any rollback as well. So as I take the brake off, I'll literally go right up to 75 this time. And we still got some. Only a couple of inches, but we still got a bit of rollback. Jesus Christ. Anyway, here we are in the middle of nowhere. There's the guard carriage. And there's the end. Oh, there's a few houses and that, not a lot around here. Snowdown. Yep, I'm pretty sure that's on our list. Yep. Snowdown, Shepherdswell and Kearsney. So 3 more stops before we get to Dover. We can just let the uphill grading there slow us down for now. And we are going to definitely get some rollback this time. I reckon I'm going to have to put it in 100 at the same time as I discharge the brakes. Seems to be the only way I'm going to be able to avoid it. Okay, we've got about half the train on. The 8-car stop is right here. Right, so all the loco is on the platform. And yes, the rear doors are opening as well. So here we are at Snowdown. To the right, nice mustard or maize field there. Right, so let's see if we can avoid the rollback. Okay, so we will do the throttle at the same time as the brakes, 100%. Oh, did it move slightly? Oh, I don't know. If it did, it was about a centimetre. So, okay, so you know that's what we've got to do. Now we're nearly at the end of the journey. Okay, we're in a 75, we've got a 90 coming up, but I imagine we've got a station coming up. Yeah, nice bit of countryside here. Good old clag there. Obviously, it's not as much as some older locos, probably because it has to adhere to emissions. And it's probably still less than an articulated lorry. And it can haul a hell of a lot more. There we go, Shepherdswell, in just over a mile. Okay, we'll start the slow down for this. Maybe a little bit too much brakes there. There we go. Okay, looks like we're going through that hill there. Yeah, looks like quite a long old tunnel. However, we are in a 90. Again, I think this platform should be long enough. Well, according to the HUD, the rear of the train is on. The loco didn't overshoot. And the door's opened. Okay, good. So here we are at Shepherd's Well. Where's all the fields with sheep in them? And where's all the pie factories? Right. Okay, it looks like everybody is on and off. So don't think we're on a gradient, so we can take the brakes off there and we can put this. Yeah, we didn't roll back at all. But let's just put it up to full throttle to get us going through that tunnel. So there'll be no wind resistance in the tunnel. Now 5.5 miles to Dover. I think we've only got one more station. 2 at the most. Yeah. Kearsley. So let's enjoy this 90 while we can. Yeah, this is a long old tunnel. As soon as we're out of the tunnel, we're at 65. So yeah, every time I mention being at a nice 90 mile an hour speed limit, something comes along immediately and completely destroys me. And now we're on a downhill as well, so just have to be a bit careful with the speed here. Oh no, it's not quite enough of a downhill to make us speed up. Well, we are sort of back out the tunnel now. God, that was a big one, wasn't it? Said the actress to the bishop. Okay, and there is our station. We need to brake anyway because the gradient got a little bit steeper. So if I take the brakes off. Oh no, we're not gaining speed anymore. So we might as well just coast for a little bit and then we'll brake for Kearsley. Okay. We can start braking round about now, I reckon. And here we go. I think the station's on a bit of a curve here. Or maybe not. Doesn't look that long anyway, according to the HUD. Yeah, the platform really isn't all that long at all, is it? Let's see how much of the train we can get on. Okay, 1.5 more carriages. Now we will have to deliberately overshoot the engine. Not by much though, I reckon that's enough. Okay, so this is our last stop before Dover. So we overshot that slightly, but very deliberately. And we did get the back on. So yeah, happy with that. And here is Kearsney. See the South Downs all round us. Okay, so we are not stopping anymore for 2.2 miles when we get to Dover. Right, let's get us pulling away. I think we're on a much of a gradient there, so I don't think we're in any danger of rolling back. No. Quite a few passengers on the train looking at it. None in the whole guard carriage, even though there are seats in there. There's a couple of dirty old skips there. Alright, 55 limit coming up. So we will might as well stop accelerating when we get there. And then look, there's the big slowdown as we head into Dover. Otherwise we will end up in France or in the Channel. So look, we're on a slight downhill. Well, not that slight at all, is it? So a bit of controlled braking there. Yeah, I know, there's lots of speed limit drops, I can see it here. Okay. Now was that a single yellow? Does that mean we might have a red signal coming up ahead? I didn't quite see that until no, there's a single yellow there, so we're all right. It's accelerated on 40% brakes though. Probably get another AWS alert as if by magic. Yeah, it's double yellow aspect there. Look, we're gaining speed even on 11% brakes there. I have to put it to 44 before it actually does slow us down. Okay, and that is our last signal before we get to Dover. Okay, I do hope we are going to veer off to the right, otherwise we are going to smash into that train. So look, brakes off, we are gaining speed. Right, okay, there's the red signal at the end. So I can't overshoot the train on purpose to get everyone off. So we'll just have to pray and hope that the platform is long enough. There we go. Right. Here we are at Dover. I think, yeah, we stopped at a good place there. Yep, and we are at the end of the run. So that was London Victoria to Dover Priory. I made a lot of fuck-ups in this video. Yeah, rollbacks, driving the train for half a journey in the wrong configuration. There's at least 5 speedings, I think, and 1 very quick use of the emergency brakes. So yeah, not my best run at all. Let's have a look at the appraisal. Okay, well, I was speeding 4 times and it didn't register the use of the emergency brakes because it was only literally for half a second. Might have even been less. But yeah, okay, 2 hours and 30 minutes. So on paper, the run wasn't actually all that bad. Okay, so average speeding once every half an hour, I think, or so. But yeah, it was full of fuck ups. But I'm sort of a lot more au fait with the class 67 now as a result of it. So yeah, I've got no problem in using it again for another route. Okay, well that brings us yeah, nicely to the end of this video, and we will see you on the next one.